All right, for this explainer, we are diving into a truly strange corner of history. We're going to look at how Soviet science went way beyond labs and rockets and into this really audacious, almost alchemical quest to forge an entirely new kind of human being. So, think about this: blood, water, and the planet Mars. On the surface, they seem completely unrelated, right? But in the early Soviet Union, these three things were all tied together by a single, incredible goal. This wasn't about separate scientific fields. It was all part of one unified and pretty wild dream.
Yeah, these weren't seen as separate sciences at all. They were basically tools in a single massive project to build a new humanity. And the final goal was, well, it was almost unbelievable.
And this was it, the creation of what they called the new Soviet man. And let me be clear, this wasn't just some propaganda slogan. The ambition was to literally, physically, and biologically re-engineer humanity itself, to build a person who was perfectly suited for a communist world. We're talking about a project to change human nature from the inside out. Okay, so how on earth were they planning to pull this off? Well, it was through this strange trinity: blood, water, and Mars. And this whole endeavor was treated less like science and more with the passion of a new religion, a kind of alchemy for a whole new world. First up, blood. And with it, the incredible belief that you could use it to create an immortal, collective superorganism. Yeah, you heard that right. The key figure here is a guy named Alexander Bogdanov, and his background tells you everything you need to know. He wasn't just a scientist. He was a top Bolshevik revolutionary and a science fiction author. So his political ideology and his sci-fi imagination just poured directly into his real-world experiments. Bogdanov had this amazing phrase for his vision of blood transfusion. He called it a comradely exchange of life. For him, this was never just a medical procedure. No way. It was a way to literally share your life force with other people, to break down biological individualism and create a physically interconnected collective. Bogdanov's radical plan basically unfolded in 3 stages. First, you exchange blood between comrades, especially from the young to the old. The goal was to wipe out disease and create a kind of biologically superior humanity. But the final and most astonishing goal was to actually reverse aging itself and achieve a form of collective immortality. He was so serious about this that he founded Russia's very first blood research institute to try and make it happen. So after you've engineered the human body, what's next? You engineer the planet itself. And the tool for that was water, which they believed could create a new Eden, perfectly reshaped for this new Soviet man. This ambition operated on 2 incredible scales. On one hand, you had these massive, gigantic projects to redirect entire rivers and irrigate deserts, literally bending nature to the will of the state. And then, on the other hand, deep inside Soviet labs, something much, much stranger was happening: the supposed discovery of polywater, a bizarre, super dense form of water that, for a little while, actually terrified scientists in the West. But here's the thing. Whether they were moving whole rivers or just rearranging molecules, it all served one single underlying goal. Our source material calls it a millenarian aim: the total, radical transformation of humanity's environment. So, from perfecting man to perfecting the earth, the final element in this trinity reached for the heavens: Mars, the ultimate destination. You have to understand, in the Soviet imagination, Mars was never just a planet. It was this huge, sweeping metaphor for the revolution itself. I mean, think about it. It's a blank slate. The red planet, just waiting to become a true red utopia. So all through the Soviet era, in science fiction and in their scientific ambitions, Mars was always the future. It was like proof that the communist vision wasn't just about Earth. It had these huge, almost cosmic goals. Conquering Mars would be the final victory, the ultimate symbol of humanity taking control of its own destiny and creating brand new worlds. So, let's pull all these threads together. We've got blood, war, and Mars. And yeah, individually they sound pretty weird, but when you see how they all connect, the true scale of this quest, this new kind of religion, really snaps into focus. This table really is the key to the whole thing.
With blood, the goal of reversing age was a direct shot at the power of immortality. With water, transforming the entire environment was a power of apocalyptic scale, the power of transformation. And with Mars, colonizing a new world, well, that's nothing less than the power of creation. Immortality, transformation, creation. You see, the quest for the new Soviet man was really an attempt to seize the powers that were, once reserved for the gods. It was a project that aimed for total scientific control over life, death, the planet, and the cosmos itself. And that's what makes this so fascinating, because it really forces us to look in the mirror. Today, we're pushing the boundaries of gene editing, artificial intelligence, and talking about colonizing other planets. As we chase our own dreams of a better future, this strange Soviet story leaves us with a pretty critical question. Where do we draw the line between progress and playing God?